Back in 2008, a group of us got together, led by the Social Inclusion Unit here in the County Council, and said, okay, let's have a week where we celebrate what's great about our county in terms of the work happening with quality, improving quality of life.
I work with the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland, and we're based locally in Blackrock, our national office. And that's, I suppose, how we got involved with Social Inclusion Week. And I've been personally involved in the steering group for the past 4 years. And I suppose it was really important for the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland to get involved, as it helped us raise awareness about the needs of people with dementia and the importance of them staying involved in communities and staying included.
My organisation has been involved with social inclusion for the last couple of years, but this is my 4th year to be part of the steering committee. So the reason why we are involved is to become included with other organisations down in Laoghaire-Rathdown.
In our committee there's a strong emphasis on social inclusion and the importance of promoting it locally within the childcare sector. So every year we have a range of actions in our plan to promote social inclusion locally. So this is kind of an extra one in addition to what we're already doing. So it's about raising awareness, and like when people hear social inclusion in the childcare sector, they're like, what's that, So it's kind of trying to break it down practically, so that people aren't fearful of it.
As a development officer covering 410 community groups, I see how diverse those community groups are, and it's important that social inclusion, that everybody who lives in this county is included in the work that goes on, in the play that goes on, the recreation, everything, that it's open to everyone, that we have an open door policy on bringing everyone and including everyone from all walks of life.
We're down at the launch of Social Inclusion Week on the Metals in Dún Laoghaire. We're a local development group, and we work with a lot of the communities that are involved in Social Inclusion Week. So it's a great opportunity for those communities to show the work really that they've been doing all year.
And for me, I suppose there are 4 key things that the week is about, that the week coming up is about. It's about, number 1, awareness and acknowledgement. So first of all, acknowledging the diversity and the differences that exist in our community.
I work with Dún Laoghaire VC Community Education Service, and we're involved in Social Inclusion Week. We work with a number of groups out in community on education programmes, and a lot of them are here today for the launch, which is fantastic.
I'll be on a couple of subgroups, and one of them would be the exhibition subgroup. So we're basically hosting an exhibition for the whole week of Social Inclusion Week, and that's going to be held over there in County Hall. And there's over 22 community groups and organisations who are going to display artwork, and that's going to be on for the whole week.
Because it's the year of active ageing and intergenerational understanding, we have a project going on between college students in the senior college who are design students, and they're working with people from Dún Laoghaire Active Retirement Association, and they're talking together about outdoor spaces that the older people remember from the olden days, places that they loved, they liked, places that were important to them around the area. And then the students are going to create some images of those spaces, and they're all going to be on display in the concourse during Social Inclusion Week.
The project started by Barbara Hammond from the VEC contacting me as chairperson of the Active Retired in Dún Laoghaire, and from there she introduced me to Maria. I think Maria is from Greece, and she lectures in the senior college. So she said, well, would some of our senior people talk to their students, because they wanted to do something for Social Inclusion Week. And the title that they had picked was Times Past. And it's done by the senior college students here in Dún Laoghaire, and it was done with a group of our active retired, most of them from the Dún Laoghaire area, except myself. I seem to be the odd one out.
At the DLR Community 5K, kicking off Social Inclusion Week for 2012. This is our 4th Community 5K. Completely inclusive event, all levels, ages and abilities are included. It's 2 laps of Cabinteely Park here today. And for the 4th year running, we have been blessed with another great great day weather-wise.
It's our very first event of Social Inclusion Week. We're delighted to see the number of people here. The sunshine is out, and really it's all about just getting people involved in outdoor participation, and it's all about social inclusion, getting your families, people with disabilities, older people, younger people out in the day in the park.
Because we have a remit for the whole community, this is a fully inclusive event. Important for us to be involved in social inclusion because our target groups crossover with Rebecca Fozzard's target groups, who's a social inclusion officer. So we must include people with disabilities, ethnic minority groups, women and girls in sport, older people, younger people, and members of the travelling community as well.
This is Social Inclusion Week, and this event is about an introduction to Irish history and culture, which is part of the Social Inclusion Week, intended to everybody, not only the minorities that live here, but everybody to really know about the history of Ireland. And it's great specifically for the immigrants who moved here to Ireland to know about the culture and the history of this country. And I think it's great. It's great that we do it. This is a beginner's guide to Irish culture and politics. It talks about the history of Ireland. It's research that has been done by some of the people in charge of part of the programs we have here. And it's really a simple guideline to the Irish history.
I'm here to do a workshop with New Communities Partnership and about the history of Ireland and culture and society and politics. It's quite an ambitious project because it starts from the introduction of Christianity to Ireland and St. Patrick right up to the plantations, the famine, and then about the foundation of the state, Northern Ireland, Europe, and society and culture as well. So let's see what I can do in 2 or 3 hours.
I'm actually from Morocco, and I work with the Laoghaire Integration Forum here, and moved to Ireland 7 years ago. And I also do some work for the Moroccan community here in Ireland. So and making sure, first of all, that migrants mix in Irish society, and then also Irish people know that there's new face to Irish society today.
We have Meet Your Neighbour Day. We're state management, so we've invited everyone to come up, have a look at work that's been done over the year, and generally just come in and have a chat, find out a little bit more about us. State management get together once a month, and basically what we do is we plan what's needed in the area. We listen to people what's being dumped or paint, graffiti. We try to do a little bit of cleaning up the area, working with Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council. It's a great opportunity. It's great to be involved in it. It's our area, we live here, so encouraging people to clean their own areas and look after it. It's a fantastic opportunity. Not a lot of people know that they can have an input into their own area, so for us to be able to say, even here today, having a cup of tea and a bit of cake, nice relaxed attitude, if there's something that's needed doing in the area and you're willing to give a little bit of a dig out, materials can be supplied. Definitely we want to make the area better, and Laoghaire-Rathdown want to encourage residents to do that.
We're in the Social Inclusion Week, and there's a primary care health fair being organised, community health fair in Laoghaire-Rathdown being organised for several partners, the Southside Partnership, Southside Travellers Group, Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council, Laoghaire-Rathdown Sports Partnership, and the HSC primary care team. I'm a social worker on the primary care team here in Dunleary and Laoghaire, and we just felt it was part of, I suppose, of our remit in primary care to be trying to promote and look at what health care providers there is in the area, given obviously the cutbacks and everything at the moment. It's important to focus on what we have in the community rather than focus on what we don't have.
There's bananas, frozen blueberries, an orange and frozen yogurt and some orange juice. You just put it all into the jug and then just mix it around, just using that, just mix it around.
Okay, Deaf Here is an organisation. We provide services for deaf and hard of hearing people. The services include information on hearing loss, information on assistive technology, for example, amplified telephones, vibration smoke alarms, personal listening devices, TV listening devices. What I do is that I'll put a pair of headphones on you and I'll ask you to, put your hand up every time you hear a beep or any sound, and then I mark down on the chart, what sounds you've heard and what you've missed.
John Waters is a journalist, a local man, resident in this area. He's a journalist for the Irish Times. He's coming, and we've asked him to come. He speaks a lot on health matters and men's rights and men's welfare issues, and obviously, he's always trying to take the health board and the Laoghaire-Rathdown themselves to accountability. So in a way, it's quite good to have him come along, and maybe to say a few words, to open it. And he's well aware, as well as everybody is, the cutbacks that are out there at the moment, and he's trying to support the local community initiative.
The week chosen is always the third week in October. It falls in around the 17th of October, which is the UN Day for the Eradication of Poverty.
Well, today is the celebration of UN Poverty Day. The Hillview Community Resource Centre and the local members decided to come together, because last year we did the same event, kind of to celebrate, to mark the day, because it's celebrated everywhere in the world. So we started with doing few workshops where people kind of creating awareness what is happening locally and what is happening in other countries. So today was the final day where sometimes people won't be able to come to the workshops, so they take this opportunity to come for the final day where they can see what other people have done. So we had men's group doing the workshop, we had the women's group, and we had the parents and toddler, and the young kids. They were doing also kind of creating awareness of what is really what is poverty and what are we experiencing in Hillview and surrounding areas.
When she gives you that big smile of hers, sure you could not refuse her anything. The Hillview Resort Centre is just a great place, and all the staff make one feel so welcome. Thank you all so very much.
Well, we just want to wish people everywhere. It's kind of Hillview is known like a disadvantaged area, but still people have hope that something will change, and today people are putting their wish. Like they wish they could have a community centre where they can hold activities like this. They wish that the men's group will go ahead. Like we have a lot of activities going on, and we want people to come over and join us. I mean, people to know that it's not a disadvantage. It is, yes, but we still have things happening there, and we are happy. And today, like we're celebrating and marking with other people in the world, because the aim today is just to end poverty. Because poverty, we know that when poverty is happening, is violating human rights. So we don't want that to happen, and we don't want to be thinking that we're in poverty. We just want to hope that good things will happen in Hillview.
For you are beautiful, and I have loved you dearly, more dearly than this forever can tell.
This is a celebration of volunteering being organised by Laoghaire-Rathdown Volunteer Centre. There were two elements to it. One was we were presenting the Valuing Volunteers Award, which we introduced this year, and that was we were giving it to organisations that have practices in place in their organisation which show that they actually value, they give recognition to, they have good quality standards in volunteer management. So that was one element, and the other element was that the Volunteer Centre, Laoghaire-Rathdown Volunteer Centre, were being presented with the quality standards by Volunteer Ireland. but also there were speakers from 3 different organisations, Making Connections, Carmona Services and Age Action, and they were basically talking about their volunteer programme and the value of volunteers to their organisation, and they were making the point that they couldn't do what they were doing if it wasn't for the volunteers. So it was a combination of those 3 elements. It was highlighting the worth of volunteers, the work of volunteers, and also the volunteer centre.
Well, my role in Eco-UNESCO is to organise the Young Environmentalists Awards, and I've just been giving a talk to the young people about how they can get involved and do projects on environmental issues and how that relates to social inclusion as well. What we do is we encourage students to do environmental action projects. So they choose an environmental issue and they do an action project based on that issue. Some of the things that groups have done in the past, they've created iPhone apps where you can count your carbon footprint, so it can see the effect that you're having on the environment. Some students have done beach conservation projects, so they've planted beach grass to conserve their beaches and the habitat for the wildlife. And then other projects include community gardens, where they're getting locals in the community, whether they're elderly or other schools, involved in their community garden.
I think social inclusion and the environment work very well hand in hand. When these young people are going out into the community and making a difference, they're being part of community and they're working with other organisations and they're being responsible. By being environmentally aware, I think it makes our young people more aware of their impact on the environment, their impact on their local communities. So in that sense it works well. My job, majority of the time, is to work with schools on environmental issues, raising awareness of environmental issues and helping the schools become more environmentally friendly and thereby saving themselves money.
We're in the Dún Laoghaire Youth Cafe. That is in the canteen of Senior College Dún Laoghaire behind Penny's. Well, it's been dubbed Happiness Day by a few people, and it was to support local youth mental health initiatives because they were given a grant to do something to promote youth mental health. So there were people who had made jars for their candles which held different messages on them.
Involved with it from the beginning, and I've seen how it changed and how other groups have come in and groups coming back every year and looking forward to it, is the Inclusion Fusion.
Inclusion Fusion 4 took place on Thursday during Social Inclusion Week. It was our 4th theatre night. We must be crazy at this stage. This year there were 10 different acts who participated, representing Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown County.
It's the accumulation of the work that everyone's doing, and it shows the diversity from young, old. It's for everyone.
They rolled him in the good old days. They rolled him in the good old days.
This year our youth group is taking part in Fusion, and they are going to be doing what's called the Campfire Circle. So basically what that is, it's young people and older people from the travelling community coming together to talk about stories from different generations and to see what's going on nowadays.
The summertime is coming and the flowers are sweetly blooming and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Oh, where'd you go, lassie, go?
Inclusion Fusion is about providing a stage for people who don't usually have an opportunity to go to theatre, who don't usually have an opportunity to get on stage.
For the life of the country folk and to ramble in the new moon. and angels danced along the blue-grey tide. Once they danced, twice and thrice, and then no more. Thank you.
The essence of what Social Inclusion Week is about collaboration and partners working together to produce a week which is fully inclusive of all members of our county. And without that collaboration, that interagency support, without community groups participating, without the statutory NGOs, other groups in the county getting involved in Social Inclusion Week, it wouldn't happen. So that's really at the essence of what Social Inclusion Week is about, that participation and collaboration and people coming together. It's just critical. And so I really hope that continues.